Hello, this is Karen Baker with A Nurtured Life. I'm here to redefine some of your experiences that you may have had living as a spirit in a human body. What you're taught about life and living, what you're taught about your body, your emotions, your feelings, your physical sensations, and what we're actually here for on this earth may not necessarily be accurate. So I'm here to offer you a different perspective. It may not necessarily be accurate either, but what it will do is it'll give you a more reasonable, less controlling, and less inhibited approach to your body and your life. So first, let's talk about your emotions. So your emotions and my emotions have been called energy in emotion. And when we're stuck, repressed, upset, constricted, repressed, inhibited, that's when we don't feel free to express the emotions that are happening as a matter of course in our body. Look, emotions are part of life. Just like occasionally having indigestion is a part of life, having emotions is a part of life. It's something that occurs in human beings. We don't typically see it in animals. We see different things in animals, responses or instincts or reflexes. But in humans, we actually see that emotions come up. We articulate them in the form of anger, loud explosions from our voice, sometimes physical, acting out, sometimes tears, sometimes our face gets red, sometimes we sweat. Sometimes you can almost literally see steam come out of someone's head. You can also see emotions that are on the tenderer side, like love. The eyes are one place in the body where the nervous system comes to the surface. Otherwise, it's like your house and the wires in the walls that only emerge at the electrical outlets or the light fixtures. Our eyes are the place where our nervous system meets the world. The rest of our nervous system is in our nerve endings. You can't really see them. It's in our synaptic responses that are happening in our brain. Scientists who study these things can see them, but we can't see them. We can see our eyes and what's the expression in our eyes. What's the emotion that's being expressed? When you hold your baby, you have a certain emotional tone to you, a certain emotional expression. Or maybe you're feeling enthusiastic. So all the energy and excitement that you're feeling in your body about whatever it is, the latest concert you're going to, or the movie, or the restaurant, or the latest beau that asked you out and brought you flowers. Your enthusiasm comes pouring through the conduit of your body, out your mouth, and it expresses itself. These are all different emotions, and the body is basically a conduit for those emotions. There's a lot of things that the body does, air in, carbon dioxide out, oxygen in, CO2 out. It also conducts our blood. It conducts our electrical field, the brain, which is sending signals to the heart to beat, and all the other things that the brain is controlling in our bodies. Our bodies are also wonderful for releasing toxins like pee and poop and sweat and tears. But one of the things that our body does as a conductor of energy is it conducts emotions. So emotions arise in our body, and then we need to express them, or else they're going to actually get stuck like a bunch of dirty laundry that you worked out in, like you worked out in the gym, you got all sweaty, and then you brought your dirty laundry, you shoved it in your hamper, and you forgot about it for a few weeks. It's going to be gross. So when we shove our emotional energy down and we don't let it come out, then in essence, what's happening is we're shoving our dirty emotional laundry down. And every bit we shove it down, instead of making our bodies alive, conducting, expressed, really alive, we're actually numbing ourselves. So here's a question for you. Hard question, simple answer. Who's more alive, 3-year-olds or 33-year-olds? Most people know the answer to that. 3-year-olds. When they're excited, they let you know. They tell you what they want. Ice cream, doll, fairy godmother, movie. Children are all the time telling you what they want. And they're all the time conducting their emotional energy. But by the time we get to be about 13, we already know we should put a lid on it. Now, maybe there's rules of society that are conducive to orderly society and things moving forward in a responsible, predictable fashion, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the individual body that ceases to express and flow this emotional energy and what happens to us when we stop. So if we stop expressing our emotional energy, that's actually called repression. And it means that it all gets stuck inside of us. So instead of being people who are enthusiastic and excited about life and turned on and checking out those other living human beings that are over there, we become people that are quiet, repressed, grief-stricken, sad, resentful, because all of those emotions have to do with repressing the flow of emotions. Emotions are not good or bad. They're just like, is lightning good or bad? No. Lightning's just a discharge in the environment. Emotions are just a discharge in our internal environment, our body. So it's not that emotions are bad or good. People's opinions about emotions, that they should be seen nor heard, that's what actually causes the damage. So emotions are not good or bad. Repressing them has its dangers. Expressing them at least allows us to get rid of them. So our job with kids, more than teaching them to repress their emotions and not express them, should be teaching them to express them responsibly. Teaching them to express their anger in such a way that they let go of it, but that it doesn't blame or make someone else responsible for it. So yes, having emotions, typically extremely normal. Babies have them and they let them rip. When they're uncomfortable, they cry out loud, unabashedly. But we teach children, big girls don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Control your temper. Well, yes, of course, controlling your temper is important so that you don't hurt or lash out at someone else. But getting rid of the emotional energy that's called temper is vitally important to your health and vitality. So let's talk about some ways to move the emotional energy out of your body so it doesn't stay stuck in there and ferment and foment and come out in the least beneficial way. Well, first let's look at the body, right? It's electrical and it's based on flow. All our systems are flowing. Our circulatory system, our respiratory system, our detoxing systems, it's all in motion. So, of course, our emotional systems need to be in motion too. One of the challenges is that all of that emotion is stirring up in our bodies, like excitement in the belly, and pleasure and sexual turn on a little lower, love, energy, enthusiasm. It's all happening in the body. But then right here, the body suddenly narrows. Like imagine all that juice that's flowing in the body. And then all of a sudden, there's this constriction, like it narrows. It's like the Suez Canal, this narrow passageway. And we have to make sure that that channel stays open so whatever needs to be expressed gets expressed. I mean, imagine that you didn't pee or poop for an entire week. how horrible you'd feel. Your body would be called septic. It would be toxic. Well, if you don't express your emotions, the same thing happens. But the stop gap is that we learn to constrict our throat and don't say what we really have to say. So I recommend a few procedures. I learned from Morehouse many years ago a process called spring cleaning. If you're interested in spring cleaning, you should drop an email to info@businessaspleasure.com. Info@businessaspleasure.com will send you a procedure called spring cleaning. It's an incredible way to dump charge that you have in your body, excitement, aggravation, hostility, blame, without having to hurt anyone. Someone holds a space for you to express yourself. You express till you're done. And the other person then closes the container and it's complete. You've had your say, but it hasn't exploded and damaged anyone. So spring cleaning, fear inventory, amazing procedure for dumping your resentment. Also a closed container where you need a partner. You read it to them and then you rip it up after they say thank you to you. Tapping, EFT. We have some incredible practitioners who have put free videos out on the internet for how to tap your way to emotional peace. Shouting into a pillow typically works. Journaling for me works. I've been doing this since I was 19 years old. I have volume after volume after volume on my bookshelf of journals where I've expressed my upset. Sometimes meditation can work. There's different kinds of meditation. Movement meditation often works better for me because I don't really so much enjoy sitting still. Having a heart-to-heart talk with a friend, or having a talk with the person that you're actually upset about, where you're both committed to getting complete and saying what you need to say. There's so many ways to get rid of the emotional energy. And I suggest that you start exploring how different systems work for you, because holding on to that emotional energy, the expression that I've heard is that holding resentment against another person is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. No, it's actually hurting you to hold on to those emotions. And I know you were taught not to express those things. I know you were taught if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But really, that is an expired and ignorant attitude. You have to get it out, just like you have to get rid of poop and pee. You have to get your emotional toxins out. You just don't have to get them out on someone else. There's one more that I wanted to mention. Well, sometimes a desire list could do it, like writing everything that you desire, writing everything you want to be, writing everything you want to do, everything you want to have. That can sometimes move some energy. Working a program can really be valuable. A 12-step program, a spiritual program. My program is called Adult Children of Alcoholics and Dysfunctional Families. I've learned so much. I've learned how to express myself and my sorrow in front of others. I've learned to drop my shame about having emotions. I've learned to drop my embarrassment about not having the perfect life that I thought I had to portray to the world. Spiritual programs are so important. Working a program like Byron Katie's Loving What Is, that can be a wonderful outlet for you to express your petty, negative, bottled up feelings. Really anything that you do. It's not that we shouldn't have emotions on the one hand. It's not that we shouldn't express our emotions on the other hand. We must express our emotions. Unexpressed rage is one of the horrible plagues that's a problem in our society today. Then people have to do murderous acts instead of just taking care of their inner landscape, their inner emotional landscape. So it's not that we shouldn't have them or that we shouldn't express them. It's that we need to learn ways to become our own sanitation engineers and ways to rid ourselves of toxic emotions that are doing nothing for us on the inside. But we need to learn to do it in a way that won't hurt someone on the outside. So this is my plea for you to get in touch if you need to learn how to express emotions. I think that groups are extremely important for people to learn how to express themselves around others, to be witnessed, but still be loved, to express ourselves in the difficult feelings that we sometimes have, but still know that we're accepted. And over time, we learn to accept ourselves. We learn to accept that sometimes we have uncomfortable and painful feelings, and that we can go through a storm of emotion and come out on the other side calm, and come out on the other side peaceful, and come out on the other side having let our emotions have our way with us without dissolving. It's not the end of our lives. Going through those emotional storms without hurting anyone else will give you perspective. It'll help you be mature, and it'll help you guide the way for other people that might be fearful to express their emotions. You can let them know it's okay to have emotions, and it's okay to express them. And it's okay if you make a mistake and do lash out at someone else. All of our experiences that we have in life are meant to teach us. So learn from it, and then learn better ways to handle it. And if you have other ways that I didn't mention, because by no means is that an exhaustive list, please mention them in the chat below. How do you get rid of your emotions? It's not important what you use. It's just important that you take your emotional trash out so it doesn't make you sick, or so you don't carry it around and accidentally hurt somebody else with your pain. I'm so glad you're listening. This has been one of the hugest lessons of my life, is that there's nothing to be ashamed of that I cry. There's nothing to be upset about that I feel emotions. There's just to conduct myself with self-respect and dignity and make my way through my emotions. This is Karen from A Nurtured Life, appreciating you so much for being here. Happy New Year. See you soon.